first thing we are called to do is to look inward to our own fidelity as Christians, to protect our integrity, to be faithful in who we are as followers of Christ. Secondly, that we must always have a constrained allegiance to any nation, a constrained allegiance to the United States or any nation. It is not our primary allegiance, and it is a seductive allegiance. Third, that we are called to careful engagement on public policy issues that are importantly related to the sacred worth and the needs of persons and the world in which they live. Fourth, we have a confidence in government's constructive potential, but also a proper fear of government's destructive potential. And we're trying to encourage the best potential and restrain the worst potential of government. Then I would say we are called to a posture of patient, steady witness in good times and bad, times when it seems that we're being listened to, times when it seems that we're not being listened to. Not expecting triumph, not fleeing the battlefield at disappointment, but hanging in there and offering a steady, patient witness. Over the last 3 years, I, like many in this room, have been involved in the perplexing fight over whether the United States would torture people in the name of national security. This was the primary agenda of Evangelicals for Human Rights. We wanted to end the drift into cruelty and torture in the name of national security, in the name of the United States. This fight has been a crucible that has tested not just our nation's soul, but the soul of every religious community in the nation, including, perhaps especially, the Christian soul. It has offered a good test of these core principles for public engagement that I have been outlining. I walk away with a few lessons from this fight, and this is how I will wrap up this evening. A couple lessons. It remains very easy for Christians, especially still in our residual role as the majority culture, remains very easy for Christians who claim Jesus Christ as Lord to drift into other primary allegiances, or to find creative ways, ingenious ways to ignore Jesus' teachings, example, and witness. When the chips are down, we often find ways to do this, and it happened during the torture debate. Belief in the sacred worth of every human being, which so many Christians claim to be so important to us, is easily sacrificed when certain human beings are seen as less than fully human or less than fully sacred, or somehow as a threat to higher values or values that we care about. Government's mandate to advance peace and justice and good order can be interpreted in a way that places few constraints on its behavior. No transcendent reference point is welcome. The state is to do whatever it thinks it has to do to protect national security. No Christian should ever make a statement like that. It violates our core ethical principles, but many Christians did during the torture debate. Christians exhibit, and during this fight have exhibited, wildly uneven attitudes toward government power. We're very worried about government power when our interests might be negatively affected, but we're very happy to employ it when we think government is doing what we want it to do. And maybe most importantly, at least in terms of the moment in this country, it looks to me like the United States lacks a moral center at this time in its history. Crass utilitarianism ruled the day as the debate over the morality of torture devolved into a debate over the effectiveness of torture. Here's how America debates torture. Does it work?